Sorry, go ahead.
I'm ready.
Yeah.
Hi,
Yes.
Lee.
Hi, Laura. How are you?
I'm good.
Good.
Okay, so we're here today. We're going to walk a little bit through the founder story. So talk to me about what led to the creation of QuenchC.
We already had a grand vision of solving the world's water crisis at scale. And one of our team members would just ask, is it possible to produce a low-cost, and I stress low-cost, handheld, portable desalination device? Exactly what happens in large-scale desalination plants, but can we miniaturize it and provide it for humanitarian purposes?
Wow.
You know, something that could produce enough water, enough drinking water from seawater for someone's daily needs in terms of sanitation and cooking, which would be about, say 3 to 4 liters per day. And that's how we started and said, is it possible? And the reality is that we do have current technologies for water desalination. There's only 2 ways you can desalinate seawater into fresh water. One is called thermal. It's a thermal process, which means simply that you just boil water, you collect the condensed or evaporated water, condensed water, and then you remineralize it. Or you can use something called reverse osmosis membranes, which are simply think of a special filter that's used to remove salts under high pressure.
Okay.
So yeah.
And then, that's a huge challenge that you're working
It
towards.
is, yeah.
Tell me about some of the people that have helped then towards this initiative so far.
The amazing thing, we've had some extraordinary minds and people involved in developing QuenchC, from our CTO, Hype Vasilian,
who's behind us,
working in the background.
We're at the lab.
That's Pranay as well in the background, a mechanical engineer, to Neilio, who's working more on the director of growth, Hannah Forbes, Mo, who's actually a doctor working frontline in the UK, developing our digital strategy, Adreen. I mean, there's so many people really involved in developing it. Developing QuenchC.
We're actually really blessed with that. We have a really fantastic team on board, and it's so inspiring to work with them because every single person is sort of really committed to this vision. And actually, it's a nice segue because I know that there is a huge humanitarian push behind what we're trying to do with QuenchC, and I know that that's very sort of close to the heart of a lot of the people in the team that we're working with, or in fact all of the team. Can you maybe tell us a little bit more about that?
About what, sorry?
About the humanitarian initiatives that we have.
Yeah, well, for us, what we're trying to do is really, we've made a massive pledge, and we're just starting to share it with the world, and that is that we want to impact 1 billion people by 2027. We also pledge to donate 100 million units of QuenchC to people without access to clean water, whether directly or whether through humanitarian organizations. And this is not just us, but with our partners, really to make an impact on the world's water crisis.
And the idea with QuenchC really, or sort of the unique point about QuenchC, is that it's a low-cost device.
It definitely has to be low-cost, manually powered, low-cost solution, but it has to be drinkable water. And one of the most difficult things is to desalinate seawater into fresh water because it's very, very energy intensive. What keeps you up at night then?
I mean, for me, there is definitely the aspect of not delivering.
Yeah.
I mean, that for me is, we've spoken about that before, and that's something that we're worried about because there are a lot of people that are invested in this project.
Yeah.
And I know that you said before, and it's so true, not delivering is not an option.
Yeah.
And then the other thing I think we've spoken about before, sort of between us, is this environmental impact. And I think that's something that we hold really dear to our hearts, that what we want to develop here, it can't in any way impact the environment, and we need to make sure that we're sort of remaining conscious of that as well. Yeah, and I think this is a huge passion project for so many of our team, that having that autonomy to then keep this humanitarian initiative at the forefront is really important to us. And the community that we have on board at the moment, they're so they're so bought in, and they're really inspired by what we're trying to achieve as well. So we're very fortunate in that regard. And then having so many people involved in pushing this forward is really beautiful to see.
It is. It's a beautiful project. That is definitely.
Yeah.
I would define it as a beautiful project.
It is.
Yeah.
Cool.
Can I get a break?
Yeah.
Well done, Laura. That was good.
That was good.